Yo, what's good, y'all? Man, I just finished a good meditation, and that meditation led to me purging. So when you purge, it's like you start crying, and like it's good to cry. Like it's really, really, really healthy. It's very good for you to cry. That is your way of letting go all the pain that was inside you. Excuse me. Like don't let this society tell you like you're not supposed to cry, especially my men out there. Like, yeah, it's good to be masculine and be in your masculine frame and don't cry in front of people and stuff like that. Cry by yourself, but remember to cry, you feel me? Don't be too caught up in your masculine because crying really does a lot and it helps. It's like you feel more cleansed and refreshed and you could go about your day. But I wanted to make this video about, my personal life and about my journey of staying true to myself and being my most authentic self. And I realized like I always been on that journey since a youngin. Like right now I put more emphasis on that being true to yourself and being your self authenticity and getting to your most authentic self. I put more emphasis I put excuse me. I put more emphasis on that now because of my me realizing that I'm on the spiritual path and my spiritual journey. So it's like I'm more conscious of it. But before I went through my spiritual awakening, it's like I always been on that path because you know I'm not the only one. Everybody, especially my brothers and sisters who look like me, um, we've all grown up and went through trauma because in this world was never for us. It was never made for us. This society was made for our destruction, to keep us in our lower selves. So based off the programming and the structures that was made around white supremacy, um, you know, we didn't know what we was doing. Our ancestors, some of our ancestors, not all, but some of them, you know, did not do the right thing. And, you know, as you can see, a lot of us is really like broken and, we have lots of trauma because of the people before us. It's obvious that they didn't really do a good job because look how we are now. But, all that's changing because a lot of us is trying to break those generational curses. And, I forgive those ancestors and like you gotta forgive your parents, your grandparents and your ancestors because they were doing their best for what they known at the time. And, going along with society they thought they needed to do that, but you know, at the end of the day, we all had a choice, and no one ever told us that we needed to do those things. But we were more docile, so we gotta forgive and we gotta move on, and you know, you know, embrace that. Like, yeah, we fucked up. Yeah, we fucked up, but it's time for change. So going back to that, we all grown up with trauma. Some of us has been abandoned, some of us been abused, psychologically abused, physically abused, emotionally abused. We didn't know how to heal properly. Um, I also hear a lot from other black households that growing up, like people weren't allowed to have like to be emotional, like go through depression, like they a lot of us we didn't allow ourselves to be vulnerable. So when we were so like, oh, we couldn't be depressed or anything or have um what's the word I'm looking for? To be mentally ill, we weren't allowed to be mentally ill and to try to heal from that and get closure. If it made us to hold that all in, and then when we hold that all in, it caused destruction outside of us. And remember, hurt people hurt people. You know, people that have hurt a lot of people have been hurt in their own lives, but they just never healed from it. So as a result, they don't know the destruction they're causing on the outside because they got so much happening in the internal. So externally, that's what they're creating. They have a lot of darkness inside them, so they creating that externally. So yeah, going back to that, it's like, I went through that stuff as well. Even though I can't really pinpoint each exact trauma that I've had, but we all have traumas that we know. Some that we're conscious about, some that we're unconscious about. Reason why a lot of us in the spiritual community and conscious community, we put emphasis on shadow work so that you could release those traumas, acknowledge them, and and heal from them, so that you could become your best self. So going back to that, it's like, yeah, I went through my own trauma. Um, I've had been heartbroken plenty of times, from relationships, friendships as well, and going through those is like in the heat of those moments when I was dealing with that heartbreak, and when my heart was like, it just felt like I was gonna die, or trauma that I'm not aware of that I went through as a kid. Is like, you in that heat of the moment, you feel all that, like, anger and that resentment for everyone. It's like, why? Why? Like, I ain't asked to come in this world. So why am I being treated this way? Especially from my good-hearted people. Whatever trauma I went through, it made me a people pleaser for sure. I didn't want to be on no one's bad side. I always try my best to be liked and to be on everyone's good side. And I think part of that was coming from trauma, and another part of that was coming from my true core self, because I'm a very compassionate person. I care for others, and I want to show people that I love them and that someone cares for them, because it's not all about me. Yes, I go through hard things in my lives too, but we're all going through a human experience, and we all go through tough situations. So I always try to be a people pleaser, especially at school and stuff like that. And it didn't work so good for me. People definitely took advantage of me. And as a result, I've been heartbroken, from relationships and friendships. So in the heat of that moment, I see everyone is like, because of they've been hurt in the past and the trauma they went through, everyone is so guarded. Like, they got their heart so guarded from everyone. They out here, you know, flexing that they cold hearted, and they're very bitter people, very miserable people, and misery loves company, and they try to make other people miserable. And in the heat of those moments where those specific people were attacking me, consciously and unconsciously, because remember, hurt people, whether that's consciously or unconsciously. In the heat of those moments, I wanted to be just like them so bad. I was like, just for that, I want to get back at y'all. Like, I want to be cold-hearted too. I want to be bitter. Now it's F everybody now. It's F everybody. I don't want to mess with nobody. I don't care. I'm done being nice to people, all that. And like, that won't even last more than 24 hours. You ever like something happen and you be like, yo, I'm gonna go to school, man, now. Like, I'm not talking to nobody. Like, it's F everybody. Nobody better not talk to me at school. I'm mad. Like, you wanna go to school on that type of timing, and as soon as you get to school, that one friend do something funny, you just laughing, playing with everybody. That's how it was for me on a everyday scale. It's like, people have hurt me, and I was like, as a result, like, I'm not gonna be so open and vulnerable. I'm gonna be guarded, and I'm gonna be mean, so people won't hurt me no more. And that's exactly what everyone is doing to this day, and it's not helping them. It's making them more miserable and more depressed, and it's causing more destruction in their lives. So that's how I wanted to be, but that shit could not last more than 24 hours. I was back to being compassionate, caring for people. I have forgave those people who have hurt me in the past. I forgive all of them. To this day, I forgive them. It's no grudge, because I'm a very understanding person. Man, I'm a conscious person. I know how this this realm works, man. It's the planet of duality. It's karma. We're all here for to cleanse karma. Like we're all in this realm for because we have past karma that we need to clear in order to learn in this school. Earth is a school. This realm is a school. 3D. This 3D realm is a school. So I knew that, and throughout my teenage years, I went through that shit. Excuse my language. I went through that, and not even just that. Up until now, all through life, I went through that, but I always kept my heart open. I was very loving. I forgave people. I tried my best to listen to people, to be there for people, to notice that they had somebody there. I was on some like, yo, if you need me to, if you need a vent, if you need somebody that, to be there just to listen to you, or you need some advice, you need another perspective, hit me up. I'm the best person for that because I love to do that. You feel me? I'm an Aquarius. I'm a humanitarian. I like to help people, and I've always been like that. It's like, and I notice now, it's like, yo, now that I'm on my spiritual journey and that all this stuff is happening all around us in this world and the metaphysical as well, it all makes sense. That just was never me, bro. I was never meant to be like that. My soul, my heart would not allow it for nothing because they knew I had a higher purpose. They knew that I had a mission. I came here for a mission. I had a purpose when I came to this earth. And that was to share my love with everyone and to care and to help guide people, you know. And, in my own way, I express my compassion and my passion for others. Like, through the words that I speak to everybody, just for me listening to people, good times, laughs, another part of me was like, I was I was goofy. I was really goofy. As a result of being goofy at the time, people did not take me serious. That's one thing I didn't like. That's why I'm not as goofy now, but I still got that aspect of myself because that is my way of making people laugh, to make their day better. It's like I love to do that. And it makes sense now. Like, and now the universe is rewarding me for staying true to myself. I'm making a few good connections, great connections that will water my growth, and I'm only going to meet more great people that reflect who I am. The more and more I stay true to yourself. The more and more I stay true to myself, and that's why I try to tell people like this journey to being self authentic, to being your most authentic self and being true to yourself is very much worth it because whatever you're doing in the inside, it reflects on the outside. Your eternal, what happens, it's like the world, it's like the physical. Before the physical there's the metaphysical. Internally, what happens in the internal creates the external, and I always knew that. And like I started attracting people in my frequencies and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, if I never stayed true to myself, if I let those people that hurt me to bring me down to their low vibrational state, I would have been stuck in there meeting the same people. And now that I vibrate higher, I feel like more people have respect for me. They treat me nice. You got your bad apples there and there. Probably talking shit about you and stuff like that. But other than that, nobody's saying that to my face. Like, I'm a real respected person, and I share love. I show love, so I should only get that in return. That's how the universe works for all this karma and stuff. So yeah, like I wasn't weak. Bro, I was not weak. Being vulnerable and still having an open heart, whether you're getting humiliated, um, disrespected, or people doing mean things to you, you know, having that open heart regardless of you getting your feelings hurt, that is true strength. That is strength right there. And I take pride in that. Like, I really take pride in that, and nobody can mess with me. Like, for those who stoop down to that low vibration stuff, honestly, that's weakness. And to be vulnerable, that's scary. Like, you're leaving yourself open to get hurt again. But when you know that love is the highest frequency there is, and then the more and more you stay in that frequency, there's a lot in store for you. You know, you that fear is dispelled. You feel me? And you will be rewarded for that. Like, man, like I'm truly a god, and like I'm not saying that from an egotistical point of view. Like, for those who are watching this, you are a god as well, and you are a goddess. You know, it just sucks that a lot of my brothers and sisters are fallen gods and goddesses, and they don't know who they are. They still think they're thugs and thoughts still, you know, and I'm trying to be the example for them. You know, that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to love. I know you've been hurt. I know you have trauma, but you can heal from it, and you can blossom into the flower, into that butterfly that you're meant to be. Become that god and goddess. Step into that responsibility. You know, I had a huge responsibility. You know, I couldn't be fooling around that low vibrational stuff out there hurting people because I'm hurt. I had to show love. It's crazy. I think this is one of my best videos, man. I love this video now because I'm really like having this realization like, yo, everything happens for a reason. There's no such thing as a coincidence, bro. Everything is necessary. Your pain, your trauma, the good times, the laughs, highs and lows, all that is necessary for that higher purpose. And, you know, I'm not ashamed, you feel me? There's no shame in my game. You know, for the people I forgave that done me wrong, and the me being humiliated, you know, all that was all worth it. And I always kept my heart open regardless of how people treated me. And that right there was true strength. And I don't think anybody's messing with me when it comes to that. You feel me? So that's all I wanted to put out there. And man, yo, I hope y'all taking care of yourselves, man. And stay strong out there, man. Open your heart. You know, don't be too much in your masculine. You gotta be in your feminine. You gotta find that balance. You feel me? So yeah. Spread that love and positivity. And I hope y'all have a great day. Peace.